Hey y'all, it's Joy and welcome back to the channel. You know, the kitchen has always been the heart of the home for me. A place where we gather, where memories are made, and where so much of life happens. As we find ourselves stepping deeper into 2025, I've been noticing such a beautiful shift in kitchen design. It's like we're all craving spaces that feel a little warmer, a lot more personal, and truly, deeply lived in. It's less about chasing fleeting fads, and more about creating a backdrop for our lives that feels authentic and welcoming, a space that tells our unique story. With this lovely evolution, it's natural that some of the trends we've seen and loved for a while are now gently making way for fresh, thoughtful approaches. It's not about saying something was wrong before, but more about how our tastes and needs grow and change. We're seeing a real desire for kitchens that aren't just functional, but also soulful. It's about layering textures, embracing imperfections that tell a story, and choosing elements that speak to us on a personal level, making our kitchens uniquely ours. So, if you're dreaming about giving your kitchen a little refresh, or maybe even planning a bigger renovation, I'm so excited to walk you through this today. We're going to explore 5 trends that might be ready for a rest, and more importantly, we'll talk about what beautiful ideas you can embrace instead. The goal here is to help you create a kitchen that feels contemporary, yes, but also timelessly you, a space you'll love for many, many years to come. Let's get started. Alright, first up, let's talk about the all-white kitchen. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a certain crispness to an all-white space that can be really appealing, and for a long time it was the go-to for that clean, bright look. But as we lean into creating spaces that feel more like a warm embrace, that stark, almost clinical all-white can sometimes feel a little cold if not done with a lot of careful layering. We're finding that our eyes and our hearts are craving a bit more depth and softness in the busiest room of the house. So, what's the beautiful alternative? We're seeing a wonderful move towards warmer neutrals. Think about those gorgeous, creamy off-whites that have just a hint of sunshine in them, or soft, muted grays that feel like a gentle hug. Earthy tones are also making such a strong comeback. Those lovely beiges, taupes, and even subtle mushroom shades that ground the space and make it feel instantly more inviting. These colors provide a beautiful, neutral backdrop that still feels light and airy, but with an added layer of coziness that's just so welcoming. It's about creating a canvas that feels serene and calming. And to really bring that warmth home, consider introducing natural wood finishes. Oh, I just love the character that wood brings. Imagine beautiful oak cabinets with their distinct grain, or a rich walnut island that becomes a stunning centerpiece. Even just wood accents like open shelving or a butcher block countertop section can make a huge difference. And if you're feeling a bit more adventurous with color, subtle greens like a soft sage, or even a deep, moody blue for your cabinetry can be incredibly sophisticated and add such personality without overwhelming the space. It's about finding that perfect balance that feels both classic and deeply personal. Next on our list is something that really speaks to practicality as much as aesthetics, those ultra-glossy cabinet finishes. For a while there, high gloss was synonymous with modern and sleek, and while it can certainly reflect light beautifully, let's be honest, it can also be a bit of a magnet for fingerprints, smudges, and every little scratch seems to just pop. In a busy family kitchen, that can mean a whole lot of wiping down, and who has time for that every single day? We want our kitchens to be hardworking, but also a little more forgiving. The shift we're seeing, and one I truly adore, is towards matte or soft sheen finishes. These are just so much more practical for everyday life, y'all. They tend to hide those little imperfections much better, giving you a look that's still incredibly chic and sophisticated, but with a more understated elegance. A matte finish diffuses light rather than reflecting it harshly, which can create a wonderfully soft and calming atmosphere in your kitchen. It feels more organic and less manufactured, which I think really contributes to that lived-in, comfortable feeling we're all striving for. And if you want to take it a step further and add even more depth and interest, think about incorporating textured materials for your cabinet fronts. This is where things get really exciting. We're seeing beautiful fluted wood panels which add such a lovely rhythmic detail, or reeded glass panels for upper cabinets, offering a hint of what's inside without putting everything on full display. These textures catch the light in such a gentle way, adding a tactile quality that makes the kitchen feel more layered and thoughtfully designed. It's a sophisticated touch that doesn't scream for attention, but adds a quiet layer of craftsmanship and character. Now, y'all know I have a special place in my heart for farmhouse style. It's rooted in history, in simplicity, and in making a house feel like a home. Shiplap, in particular, became such a hallmark of that look, and for good reason. It adds instant texture and a touch of rustic charm. However, like any popular trend, there can come a point of saturation where it starts to feel a little less like a thoughtful choice and more like a default. We're now looking for ways to capture that same warmth and character, but perhaps with a touch more refinement and subtlety. So, if you're wanting to move beyond wall-to-wall shiplap, there are so many beautiful avenues to explore. Consider painted wood paneling, perhaps with a more delicate beadboard detail, or even a simple V-groove, which can offer a similar textural interest, but feel a bit more classic and less overtly farmhouse. Subtle plaster finishes are also gaining traction, giving walls a soft, almost velvety texture that feels both ancient and incredibly modern. And believe it or not, elegant wallpaper is making a huge comeback in the kitchen, offering an opportunity to introduce pattern, color, and a truly personal touch. The key here is focusing on natural materials that possess a genuine patina, or that will develop one beautifully over time. It's about authentic character, rather than a reproduction of a style. Think about reclaimed wood that tells a story, or stone that has natural variations. It's about choosing elements that feel honest and have an inherent quality. This approach allows you to achieve that cozy, lived-in farmhouse feel, but in a way that's perhaps more integrated, timeless, and uniquely reflective of your own personal narrative, rather than just following a trend. Another design approach we're seeing evolve is the wall-to-wall, floor-to-ceiling uniform cabinetry. While this certainly maximizes storage, it can sometimes make a kitchen feel a bit heavy, almost like a fortress of cupboards, and can lack a bit of visual breathing room. Kitchens are becoming more than just utilitarian spaces. They're living spaces, and we want them to feel open, airy, and inviting, with places for the eye to rest and discover little moments of beauty. It's about creating a more dynamic and engaging environment. So, how can we mix it up? One of my favorite ways is by incorporating open shelving. This is such a wonderful opportunity to display those cherished items. Your favorite pottery, a collection of cookbooks, pretty glassware, or even small pieces of art. It breaks up the solidity of endless cabinet doors and adds such a personal, curated touch. It forces you to be intentional about what you display, making those items feel even more special. It's like creating little vignettes within your kitchen that tell your story and bring in personality. Beyond shelving, consider integrating different zones and functions. Banquette seating tucked into a corner with a small table can create a cozy dining nook, making the kitchen feel more like a gathering spot. This also offers a chance to bring in fabrics and cushions, adding softness and comfort. We're also seeing a rise in concealed kitchens, where appliances like the dishwasher or even the refrigerator are hidden behind panels that match the cabinetry. This creates an incredibly streamlined, uncluttered look, especially in open-plan living spaces, allowing the kitchen to blend more seamlessly with the rest of the home. It's all about creating a more varied and interesting visual landscape. Finally, let's chat about those overly distressed or shabby chic finishes. For a time, the idea of making new things look old was very popular, with heavily sanded edges, crackle paint, and deliberately applied wear and tear. While the intention was to create a sense of history and charm, sometimes these techniques could look a little forced or artificial, rather than genuinely aged. As our appreciation for authenticity grows, we're leaning towards finishes that celebrate the inherent beauty of materials and allow them to tell their own story over time. The wonderful alternative is to let natural materials age gracefully, developing their own unique patina. Think of a solid wood countertop that gathers small marks and changes color slightly with use. Those aren't imperfections, they're memories. Or unlacquered brass hardware that slowly tarnishes to a beautiful, mellow glow. It's about choosing quality materials that are designed to last and look even better as they live alongside you. This approach brings a depth and soul to the kitchen that simply can't be replicated with faux finishes. If you love a painted finish, consider hand-painted cabinetry in rich, grounding hues that feel classic and enduring. Or opt for finishes that offer a subtle, organic texture, perhaps a brushed or lightly wire-brushed wood that highlights the grain without looking deliberately damaged. The goal is to achieve genuine character, that sense of something being well-loved and well-made, rather than trying to artificially create an antique. It's about embracing the beauty of authenticity and letting the story of your kitchen unfold naturally through the materials you choose. So there you have it, 5 kitchen trends that are gently stepping aside to make room for approaches that feel so much more personal and enduring as we head further into 2025. It's truly exciting to see this shift towards creating spaces that are not just beautiful, but also deeply reflective of who we are and how we want to live. It's about crafting a kitchen that feels like a warm, welcoming hug every time you step into it, a place where family and friends naturally want to gather. By thoughtfully considering these evolving ideas, by saying goodbye to some of those fading trends, and instead embracing all that wonderful warmth, inviting texture, and true personalization, you're not just updating your kitchen, you're infusing it with a sense of heart and soul. You're creating a space that will feel current and incredibly inviting. But more importantly, it will be a space that truly reflects your unique style and story for many happy years to come. That's the real joy in designing a kitchen. Thank you so much for joining me today, y'all. I hope this has given you some fresh inspiration for your own kitchen dreams. Remember, the most beautiful homes are the ones that tell the story of the people who live there. Don't be afraid to make choices that feel right for you and your family. Until next time, happy decorating, and may your homes always be filled with joy.